Hi guys, Pat with Blueprint Cabinets coming to you from the Blueprint Cabinet showroom. There is one piece in here that hands down has the most polarizing different opinions on if you love it or you hate it. And I'm talking specifically about this right here, the Waterfall Countertop Edge. Now, if this is something you're interested in doing, you're going to want to stick around this video, figure out the pros and cons to working this into your kitchen. So the first important consideration, and I would say maybe the most important of all, is does this work with your kitchen design? Now, if you've got a very modern home, even a more contemporary home, your home can probably pull off this look. But this simply looks out of place in traditional old school kitchens and homes. If you've got, a century home, it's 100 years old and it's got lots of traditional fluted moldings, it's got lots of step ups, it's got, those traditional design characteristics, this is going to look out of place. So the second important consideration is, of course, the cost. Now, we saved a little bit of money by not having to finish the sides of these cabinets, but not much by comparison to what the stone's worth. We've effectively doubled the amount of square footage on this countertop. We've got 9 square feet on each side, 18 square feet in total. If we were to cut those off and lay them back up on top of the countertop, we've almost doubled the amount of stone there. So there is a cost to that. On average, it's probably going to range between $2,500, $3,500 to do these waterfall panels. Now, compared to finishing the side of the cabinet, that could be a couple $100, even if we did decorative side panels, and really went crazy, we might get $500, $600, $700, even $800. We're still going to be way lower in cost than doing these with stone. So that cost is going to vary depending on the stone that you select. This can be done with both 2 centimeter thickness like this and 3 centimeter thickness like this guy here. Depending on the pattern and the color you decide, those stones do range in price as well. Now, the other important cost consideration is how the math works out on the stone. You've got to remember with these stone countertops, the slabs come in certain sizes. They're 10.5 feet long, about 5.5 feet wide. Now, if you've cut your entire kitchen out of that and you have leftover material, then great. But if you need to buy a whole additional slab, then that cost estimate that I gave you, that's probably going to go out the window. If you really want to vein match it perfectly, we're going to come to that on part 3, consideration 3, the cost may be even more. Now, the third consideration is a two-parter. That really depends on what stone you pick to do this. Now, this one, if I spin back around, check out my waterfall again, this particular stone is a great one to waterfall because of this pattern. It's very small and inconsistent. So when you cut it up and you splice these corners, it's not very obvious when you do that. If I were to spin around and look at this display, if I can grab you some of the pattern, you can see these really long veins on this stone. That's going to look a little bit strange if you cut that vein off in half and it doesn't perfectly continue up the side or down the side up along the top. Because the pattern is smaller, even though we've got some of these veins and spotches throughout it, it's so inconsistent that it's hard to tell that the pattern actually changes on this side of the countertop. If I walk around to the other side over here, come with me now. On this side of the countertop, this is the perfect continuation. So on the waterfall edge, it perfectly matches. If we look up close, you can see these lines where they perfectly blend the top to the side. That's because this is actually that section of the slab that they just 45 and flip over. On the other side, it's a different part of the stone. So the guys at Prime Stone, they do a great job at trying to seam match and pattern match that. So they move the stone around, the slab around, to try to blend it, but it's not perfect on the other side. So if you're a type of person who's, very specific on that type of thing, you're going to want to consider the pattern that you're looking for, but also you may have to actually buy additional material if that pattern match is that important to you. So if you were to add up all 3 of these sizes, the 2 sides and the top, we're over 10.5 feet here. So it's just simply not possible. Now, If you buy an additional slab, the pattern is consistent enough that they can find that exact pattern section out of another slab and they can piece it together. But it's an extra cost again. So if you're going with a small, pattern like this guy, or you've got one that's, say, a really speckly pattern, you're not going to notice if you cut that up. Where if you've got a very long vein like this one, it's going to be a lot more obvious. It's going to mean extra material, which means extra cost. This is super cool. I absolutely love it, but you got to be honest with yourself and your budget as well. If this is something you want to work into your kitchen design, it's important you let me know that up front, because we are going to want to consider that in when it comes to budgeting for your cabinets. As cool as it is, it just doesn't work for everyone or every space. It's certainly a neat piece. Polarizing. Some people love it. Some people hate it. What do you think? Keep watching. Check out our content. Check out our YouTube page. Check out our Facebook page. Come on into the showroom and see it for yourself. We'd love to have you. Thanks, guys. Take care.